Changing the water in your pond is very important, especially when there's the need. I have a video on the 6 things to consider when you are changing the water in your pond. You can check it out. But note, even when you are going to change the water, there are certain times that you don't have or you must not change the water. Leaving the water unchanged at that time will be better than changing the water, even if it means meeting the requirement of changing of the water. And in this video, I'm going to take you through 7 times that you have not to change the water. During these 7 times, you do not change the water. Please note, because changing might be dangerous than leaving the water unchanged. So please, we are going to go through each of them. Please, if you are not subscribed to this channel, let's subscribe and let's take our fish farming journey together. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. All we do in this channel is to share fish farming tips based on our experience and research. The first time you must not change the water in your pond is during sudden weather change. When the weather change suddenly, it could be either too hot or too cold. During that time, it is not ideal to change the water in your pond. The reason is that the water that you are bringing, the temperature of that water will not be the same in the temperature in the pond. So changing it at that time may cause thermal shock to the fish. That can lead to diseases and mortality. But the water pond that their fish are already in, they have adapted to that weather. And changing suddenly will affect the fish. So during the sudden weather change, either too hot or too cold, at that time, please don't change the water. The second time you must not change the water is during medication. Medication is when you apply medicine or remedy or antibiotics or whatever thing that you have given to the fish in a form of treatment. This medication could be natural, such as bitter leaves, salt, or whatever. Or it could be the antibiotics or those medications that you have bought. In any of them, make sure that during the treatment process, you don't change the water. Because when you add the medicine into the pond, that is when it is treating them. It takes time to get them healed or to treat them. So the medication is in the water and the fish are swimming in that water. And that is that is how they get their treatment. So changing the water before the treatment is completely done may dilute the medicine. And that means that the fish will not receive it fully in their system and to receive that treatment. So when you are treating your fish, make sure that you leave the water for the fish to enjoy the medicine in the water before you change the water in the pond. So make sure you take this carefully. The third time you don't have to change the water is during breeding. When you're going to breed the fish or in the process of breeding, the fish need stable environment. They need stable water condition to be able to be bred well, for the eggs to hatch well. If you change the water during this period, that means that you have taken out that stable environment or the environment that they are used to, and that change can affect the eggs and for therefore the hatching of that eggs. So make sure that during breeding or spawning time, you don't change the water in the pond. Another time you don't have to change the water in the pond is when the weather is hot, especially during hot afternoon. This are limited to hot afternoon. Within that day, when the sun is set or before the sun comes out, you can change the water. But when the sun is very hot in the hot afternoon, it is not ideal to change the water at that time because the temperature of the water has rise and putting it to the fish will affect them. One farmer shared a story with me when she noticed the sudden change of behavior of the fish. And she thought that changing the water at that time would be better for the fish. And it was hot afternoon time. So they decided to reduce the water and add fresh water, only to realize that almost half or more than half of the fish were dead because of that sudden change of environment. So if she had left that water for the sun to set in the night to change, that would have been better for her. And that also brings her to another important time that you must not change the water. That is when the fish is stressed or when the fish is sick. When you notice the fish are sick and you observe it or they are stressed, at that time it is not good to change the water. Because when they are stressed or when they are sick, their immune system is weak at that time. Water changing is also bringing another shock or weakness of the immune system to the fish. So doing that at that same time is furthering up the weakness of the fish, and that can subject them to diseases and mortality. So when you notice the fish is sick, it is good you don't change the water at that time. Another time you have not to change the water is when you notice that the oxygen is suddenly changed. The sudden depletion of oxygen, don't change the pond water at the time. Yes, oxygen is very important, but mostly oxygen reduce in the pond gradually, before it suddenly goes out completely. But when it goes out completely at once, it is dangerous at that time to change the water because the fish are stressed and you will further stress them and that can lead to diseases. So when you notice that, the best thing to do is, if you have aeration system, increase the working of the aeration system to add more oxygen than to give them more oxygen for them to survive. Or if you don't have aeration and you can quickly provide aeration system, that is better. That is better. That is better. But to just change the water at once can affect them. The last thing I'll talk about when you don't have to change the water is when the water parameters are stable and the water is good and clear for the fish. There's no need to change the water. If you think you have too much water in your farm, then you don't decide to change the water, no. You are wasting the water. And you are also changing the condition of the fish, which is not ideal for them. So if the parameters are okay, they are stable, the water is clear, good, odorless, nothing is wrong with the water, just leave them. Don't disturb them. Though you have water and you think you can enjoy changing it, at least, like I said, the frequent water change is not good for the fish. Because anytime you change the water, you have changed their condition or you have changed their environment. So they need to adjust to that new environment again, which is not good. So it is not ideal to always change the water in the pond. That's why you need to consider some factors before changing. Now, if you have watched so far, you will notice that even though changing the water is good, but always changing the water is so ideal, and I've keep thinking about that. So what about putting up a system that will let you run the farm continuously, months, even up to harvest without changing the water? And that is when the aquatic system comes to play. Install it in your farm, and you don't have to worry about changing the water once you keep the system working effectively. If you are in Ghana or closer by, we can install it for you. But if you are not, you can consider buying our DIY course that gives you step-by-step tutorial or videos on how to build and install your own flotation aeration system. When you enroll in this course, you are going to learn everything, and we also have a community where we can help you up if you face any challenge. People have enrolled and they are enjoying the aquatic system. You can also get enrolled. Check the link in the description, and you can use FACO for 30% discount off. But that discount has limited enrollment. It is first come, first serve. So come get the code and you are good to go. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so as we take our fish farming journey together. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. Thank you for watching.